The cafeteria's security camera would later show exactly 17 seconds between the snap and the silence. 17 seconds that would destroy the Lawson dynasty. Emily Patterson sat alone at the corner table, running her fingers over the worn leather of her father's notebook. 3 weeks since the funeral. 3 weeks since they called it an accident. A renowned investigative journalist simply losing control of his car on a clear night. No skid marks, no mechanical failure. She'd learned to recognize the weight of unspoken truths from him, and his death carried that same heavy silence. Preston High buzzed with its usual Monday energy. The elite squad commanded the balcony level, their laughter cascading down like verdicts from on high. Emily had chosen her spot deliberately. Corner table, back to the wall, clear view of all exits. Fresh meat needs to learn the rules. Christopher Lawson's voice cut through her father's handwritten notes. She didn't look up. She'd researched him. Quarterback. On a roll. Third-generation Preston legacy. His father ran the school. His grandfather had built it. I'm talking to you. His hand slammed down on the notebook. Emily Patterson, the dead journalist's daughter. That made her look up. Christopher stood flanked by 3 other boys. Behind them, phones already sliding out of pockets. The dining hall's noise dimmed to an expectant hush. My father's name, she said quietly, doesn't belong in your mouth. Tough girl, huh? He moved behind her chair. Let me explain how things work here. Preston High has traditions, standards, a certain hierarchy that needs maintaining. Emily returned to her notebook, pen moving across the page. She was writing down their names. All 4 of them. Are you seriously ignoring me right now? The cafeteria held its breath. Last chance to acknowledge your betters. Or we'll have to teach you some respect. Is that what you call this? Respect? Christopher laughed. Boys, I think she needs a lesson in Preston tradition. It happened fast. His hand shot out, fingers hooking under the strap of her bra where it showed at her shoulder. One swift yank backward, the elastic snapped against her skin with a sound that seemed to echo off the vaulted ceiling. Laughter erupted. Phones rose to capture the moment. Emily didn't flinch, didn't cry. Instead, she turned slowly, looking directly at each phone camera, memorizing faces with methodical precision. Interesting tradition you have here, she said. Tell me, Christopher, is that documented in the student handbook, the section on sexual assault, as a welcome ritual? The word assault dropped like a stone. Christopher's smirk faltered. It's just a joke. Lighten up. A joke. Like when Marcus Chen's wrestling video ended up on Preston ranking last year, or when Sarah Morrison transferred mid-semester after her locker room photos went viral. Those kinds of jokes. She watched the color drain from Christopher's face. Those weren't public knowledge incidents. How do you know about that? My father taught me to always research a story. And you, Christopher Lawson, just became one. She walked out with measured steps, feeling hundreds of eyes on her back. That night, she sat cross-legged on her dorm room bed, laptop heating her thighs. The Preston ranking website loaded slowly. Emily's name was already there. Dead journalist's frigid daughter, 4 out of 10 needs attitude adjustment. The video had been edited, cutting out everything before Christopher's approach. But Emily wasn't interested in the surface cruelty. She was looking at the source code. The directories opened like nesting dolls, each revealing worse than the last. Not just embarrassing photos, but organized folders, systematic documentation. And worse, financial records, transactions, betting pools with dollar amounts that suggested this went far beyond bored rich kids. A soft knock interrupted her. A girl stood in the hallway, pixie cut, oversized hoodie. You're Emily. I'm Rebecca Coleman. I saw what you did after with the code. I've been monitoring your IP address. I've been waiting for someone else to see what I've been seeing. Rebecca entered, gravitating toward the laptop. You found the directories? Good. But you haven't found the real server yet. Preston ranking is just the storefront. Rebecca pulled out her own laptop. I've been trying to crack it for 2 years. Ever since I ended up there, freshman year. The video they posted of me followed me home. My parents saw it. My little brother. I tried to kill myself twice before I learned to fight back with code. Why didn't you report it? Rebecca's laugh was bitter. To who? Principal Lawson, the school board filled with Preston alumni, the local police chief, who happens to be Lawson's brother. This place is a closed ecosystem. My father was investigating education corruption when he died, Emily said quietly. Preston High's name appears 17 times in his notes. Rebecca's fingers stilled. Robert Patterson was your father, the journalist who exposed the Cambridge Academy trafficking ring. 3 weeks ago, his car went off Route 9. No witnesses, no mechanical failure, just gone. If your father was investigating Preston, and now you're here pulling at the same threads, I know. Emily pulled out her father's notebook. Look at this. Preston connection confirmed. Meeting with WB tomorrow night. He died on the way to that meeting. WB? William Barnes, the janitor who's worked here for 20 years. They worked in tandem, Rebecca navigating the digital maze, while Emily documented everything. The deeper they went, the darker it got. Betting pools that bordered on assault. Teachers' names and financial records. And then, in a folder labeled innocuously as archives, hundreds of videos. Not just embarrassing moments, but calculated systematic documentation of assault. Each file meticulously labeled with dates, names, and prices. They're selling them, Rebecca whispered. Emily's hand shook as she clicked through file after file. All of them reduced to commodity, their trauma monetized. Her screen went black. Then text appeared. Curious cats get skinned. See. He knows, Rebecca breathed. Christopher knows we're in the system. He can't be running this alone, Emily said. An operation this sophisticated, he's middle management at best. His father, Principal Lawson, has to know. Emily pulled out her phone. I think I know where to start. She'd noticed the note that morning, slipped under her door. Janitor's closet, sub-level, midnight. Come alone. WB, I'm coming with you, Rebecca said. The sub-level of Preston High felt like a different world. William Barnes was waiting for them, a man in his 60s with careful eyes. You look like him, were his first words to Emily. Robert was a good man. You were going to meet him. I was. William gestured to boxes along the back wall. 20 years I've been here. 20 years of cleaning up after these kids, invisible to them. You'd be amazed what people throw away thinking it's gone forever. He pulled out a box. Inside, Emily found printed emails, photographs, financial documents. Evidence, years of it. I tried going to authorities once, back in 2010. Next day, my grandson's scholarship to Preston disappeared. My daughter's job at the district office went away. So I started collecting insurance. Your father was going to be the fuse. Then they killed him. Christopher's just the latest in a long tradition. His father did it, his grandfather. But recently, it got worse. The money got bigger. Ever since Principal Lawson brought in that IT consultant, Kyle Morrison. Sarah Morrison, who transferred last year, his daughter. When she found out what Daddy did for a living, she tried to expose it. They destroyed her. William pulled out another box. But Emily, you have to understand these people killed your father. They'll kill you too, if you give them the chance. Then I won't give them the chance. They spent hours documenting everything. But it was the recent material that made Emily's blood run cold. A printed email chain from 3 weeks ago. Patterson getting too close. Need permanent solution. Make it clean. The response? Already in motion. Accident tomorrow night. Route 9. No witnesses. Emily stared at the proof of her father's murder. We need to leave, William said urgently. Security does rounds at 2 a.m. Back in her dorm room, Emily and Rebecca worked through the night. Rebecca reached out to her network, other Preston survivors. By dawn, they had a plan. A documentary, Emily said. 15 minutes. Tight, devastating, undeniable. Start with Christopher in the cafeteria. End with a murder conspiracy. They'll come after you the moment this goes live. Let them. They killed him for investigating in the shadows. Let's see what happens when we drag them into the light. The next morning, Emily found her locker defaced. But she'd expected this. What she hadn't expected was Jennifer Lawson, Christopher's sister, approaching her between classes. You're Emily. I'm Jennifer Lawson. She pressed something into Emily's hand. A flash drive. He records everything, even at home. Our father. She swallowed hard. Just be careful. And when you're done, make sure the whole truth comes out. That afternoon, Christopher cornered Emily in the computer lab. You think you're smart, digging into things that don't concern you. But you don't understand how this place works. Some families matter, others are just collateral damage, like your father. Is that a confession? It's reality. My family built this school, this town. We decide who succeeds and who disappears. Like Sarah Morrison, like Marcus Chen, like the 17 other students who transferred or dropped out after ending up on your website. I have all their names, Christopher, all their stories, and tomorrow, so will everyone else. You're bluffing. Emily showed him a screenshot. Christopher's face cycled through emotions. You don't know what you're doing. This goes higher, deeper. I know your father, the school board, the IT consultant who built your trafficking network, the offshore accounts, all of it. Christopher stepped back. How? Because unlike you, I actually learned something from my father. He taught me that bullies are usually just middle management. They'll destroy you. My father, the others, they don't just ruin lives, they end them. I know. They killed my father. But some things are worth dying for. That night, Emily sat in Rebecca's dorm room, surrounded by survivors, each ready to tell their story. One by one, they sat in the chair. But it was the fourth girl who made Emily's blood run cold. I was 12. Got separated during a middle school tour. Christopher's father found me in an empty classroom. Said he'd help me find my way back. The woman described what Principal Lawson had done, how he'd threatened her family if she told. He has a type. Young, vulnerable girls who can't fight back. Emily pulled out Jennifer's flash drive. The drive contained hours of audio. Christopher recording himself and conversations with his father. But one recording stood out. Date stamped 3 weeks ago. It's handled. Patterson won't be a problem after tomorrow. Are you sure this is necessary? Christopher's voice, younger, uncertain. Your grandfather did what was necessary to build this legacy. I do what's necessary to protect it. Someday you'll do the same. I don't want. What you want is irrelevant. You're a Lawson. Act like it. The documentary came together like a fever dream. Emily edited through the night. The opening shot, the cafeteria security footage. Then her voiceover. This moment wasn't the beginning. It was the culmination of decades of systematic abuse protected by power, privilege, and silence. My name is Emily Patterson. My father died investigating this story. This is what killed him. The dominoes fell in devastating sequence. The Preston ranking website revealed as a front for trafficking. Financial records. Testimony from survivors spanning 20 years. The audio of Principal Lawson ordering her father's murder. But Emily included Christopher's recordings too, illustrating how institutional evil perpetuates through generations. Her closing statement. My father taught me that journalism is about afflicting the comfortable and comforting the afflicted. The comfortable have been afflicted. Now it's time for the afflicted to be heard. At 3 a.m., 2 days after the cafeteria incident, Emily uploaded the documentary to dozens of platforms. She sent copies to every major news outlet. Then one final email to every student at Preston High, every parent, every school board member. Subject line: The truth about Preston High. Please watch before they delete this. By 6 a.m., the view count was in the thousands. By 8, it had hit 100,000. Hashtag Prestongate was trending. News vans were pulling up outside the school. Emily walked through Preston's front doors, knowing it might be the last time. She found Christopher by his locker alone. He looked like he'd aged 5 years overnight. You destroyed everything, he said. No. Your father destroyed everything. I just showed people the wreckage. Christopher laughed, a broken sound. Part of me is relieved. I've been drowning in this my whole life. The intercom crackled. Emily Patterson to the principal's office immediately. Emily went alone. Principal Lawson stood by the window watching the news vans. You've destroyed a legacy built over 3 generations. I've exposed a criminal enterprise that's destroyed hundreds of lives, including my father's. Lawson turned. Your father was a fool. He thought the law would protect him, that truth mattered more than power. It got him killed by you. Prove it. That recording from Christopher's collection? Inadmissible. Your whole documentary, a house of cards built on illegal surveillance. My lawyers will tear it apart. Maybe. But court isn't the only venue. The internet has already tried and convicted you. You think you've won? I'll bury you just like I buried him. Emily pulled out her phone, showing the recording app. Thank you for the additional confession. This one was obtained with clear consent. Lawson's face went white, then red. He lunged forward, grabbing for the phone. Emily sidestepped, but he caught her arm, squeezing hard. You're not leaving this office. The door burst open. Jennifer Lawson, followed by 2 FBI agents. Actually, Father, Jennifer said coolly, she is. And so are you. Just different destinations. The next hours blurred. FBI agents swarming the school, servers being seized. Emily found herself with federal prosecutors. The network was even larger than she'd imagined. Preston connected to similar operations at elite schools in 12 states. Millions of dollars, thousands of victims. Christopher was arrested that afternoon. He looked up, found her face, and nodded once. Not forgiveness, but acknowledgement. By evening, hashtag Prestongate had gone global. The documentary had 5 million views. News outlets called it the biggest education scandal in years. Rebecca found Emily on the dormitory roof watching the sun set. You did it. We did it. All of us. Every survivor who spoke up. What happens now? Now we make sure it sticks. The documentary was just the beginning. I'm starting a platform for students to report harassment safely. Truth speaks. Rebecca grinned. I know a pretty good hacker who might help. Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Thank you. Then another and another. Messages flooding in from students across the country. A week later, Emily stood at her father's grave. You were right about following the money, about systems of power. But you were wrong about one thing. You thought you had to fight alone. I learned that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is shine a light so bright that everyone has to see. Rebecca waited by the car. They had a meeting with investors interested in funding Truth Speaks. Christopher had been sentenced to 2 years with mandatory therapy. He'd written her a letter promising to use his remaining privilege to fight the system that created him. Principal Lawson was facing life in prison. Jennifer was representing survivors pro bono. Preston High had a new principal, new policies, federal oversight. Emily's phone buzzed. The documentary had over 10 million views. But what mattered most was the message from a 13-year-old girl in Ohio. I showed your documentary to my principal. He's finally listening. Thank you for teaching me that truth speaks louder than silence. 6 months later, Emily stood before Congress. The Senate Committee on Education had called hearings on the Preston Papers, exposing similar operations at 43 elite schools nationwide. How did a 17-year-old accomplish what law enforcement couldn't? Emily leaned into the microphone. Because I wasn't looking to build a legal case, Senator. I was looking to tell the truth. And sometimes the truth doesn't need a warrant. It just needs someone willing to speak it. Her closing statement would be replayed on every news channel that night. My father died believing that journalism could change the world. He was wrong. Journalism can't change the world. People can. Journalism just shows them why they should. Outside the Capitol, Rebecca showed the latest statistics. Truth Speaks had over 1 million users. 1,500 schools had implemented their system. 3 federal bills inspired by their platform were moving through Congress. There's something else. Sarah Morrison wants to meet, says she has information about international connections. As they walked toward the metro, Emily's phone rang. An unknown international number. Miss Patterson, I'm calling from Westminster Academy. We've seen your documentary. We need help. It's happening here, too. Emily met Rebecca's eyes. The work continued. Tell me everything, Emily said, pulling out a notebook. Not her father's this time, but her own. Start from the beginning. Because every snap, every silence, every system of oppression deserved its reckoning. And Emily Patterson, daughter of truth, would make sure they got it.